How is it going, everyone? Today I'm here with my DVD review of the latest WWE home video release that came out last week, which was Seth Rollins Building the Architect, only available on DVD. I don't know why it's not on Blu-ray, considering everything on this DVD set was shot in HD, so there really was no reason for not to put this on Blu-ray, especially considering we would have gotten like 5 or 6 extra matches and segments on this set if it was a Blu-ray, but unfortunately it's only on DVD, which, you know, it doesn't hurt the quality of it. I mean, physically the quality is obviously different, but like I feel like the match quality and the content on this was definitely not affected that it's only a DVD set. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video with my review of it. Of course, here is the cover of it. Pretty basic cover, but I actually really like it a lot. You got a picture of Seth Rollins kind of looking into the abyss right there. And of course, you have his logo with Seth Rollins Building the Architect on there. Pretty nice cover. Like I said, I like it. It's basic, but it definitely grabs the attention in my opinion. Here's a spine, what it looks like on your shelf. Another picture of Seth Rollins, and of course, the title of the DVD as well on their 3-disc set. And here is the back, of course, of some pictures. You have him when he turned on the Shield, him versus Roman Reigns for Money in the Bank, and of course, him with the WWE Championship and United States Championship, and of course, his crowning achievement at WrestleMania 31 right there. And here's a description as always. The Architect has created the perfect blueprint for success with multiple championships, a massive fan base, and a plethora of incredible matches under his belt. Now, for the first time ever, hear from Seth Rollins himself as he tells his story of how he became a sports entertainment megastar, from his time on the independent scene to becoming one of the founding members of The Shield. To his WWE Championship victory, Seth Rollins gives insight on how he became the undisputed future of WWE. The undisputed future of WWE. I acted like that I was going to continue with that one, but that was the last sentence. So, yeah, that's the back. Here's the bottom, of course, approximate running time, 8.5 hours, which is actually accurate. Usually they extend the running time on here by like an hour, hour and a half, to make it look more appealing to grab, but that's actually pretty accurate on the run time, so I was happy about that. Here's the other side, what it looks like. Of course, open it up, there's the inside, you got a picture of Seth Rollins from SummerSlam with the WWE Championship and his logo once again right there. So pretty nice artwork on the inside. You open it up. There's a match listing as well as the chapter content, so if you want to pause and read it, you can go ahead. There's disc 1 right there. With behind disc 1 is a picture of the Shield with him with his tag team titles. Disc 2 with a picture of him in the Money in the Bank briefcase. And then, of course, behind disc 3 is him with the WWE Championship from when he won it from Roman Reigns at Money in the Bank. So, nice artwork on this set. The running time on disc 1 was 2 hours and 58 minutes, 2 hours and 50 minutes, and 2 hours and 57 minutes. So it actually is almost a 9-hour set, about 8.5 hours if you do the math, because I'm not going to. But yeah, my overall thoughts on the set was that it's awesome. Definitely set of the year so far. I know we're only 5 months or 6 months into the year, and we have some really great titles coming out, like Kevin Owens and Kurt Angle and unreleased matches. So we have a lot of great stuff coming out still, but this one is definitely the one to beat so far. I feel like the format of this DVD set flowed really, really well. Usually, I'm not a fan of the match compilations with interviews in between them, but I feel like with this one, I feel like the matches weren't just random, they were going with the story that Seth Rollins was telling as well, so I thought that really was a good positive on the set as well. Ton of content, ton of great matches. Just the way this set was structured was really, really well. I'd definitely recommend this set for anyone, not just Seth Rollins fans, but if you love great wrestling, you want to hear a great story told with it as well, this is definitely the set for you. I had a ton of fun watching it. Saw a lot of things that, I haven't seen in years, and watching it back, it's just like, wow, I forgot that even happened. So, definitely highly recommend getting this set. Definitely worth the $20 for the DVD set, if you ask me. So, huge recommendation from me. Disc 1 was a really fun way to start the set. Of course, with the interview, you had Seth Rollins talking about how he signed with WWE, how at the time he was actually in negotiations with TNA, and he actually almost signed with TNA because they actually verbally agreed to a contract, which I didn't know about. I knew he was in talks, but I never knew he actually verbally agreed to a contract with TNA. He told WWE that, and WWE then was like, no, hey, we want to sign you, and he basically told TNA to F off, and signed with WWE. So with the FCW, first match was Seth Rollins versus Hunico for the FCW 15 Championship. That was, of course, the crowning of the Jack Brisco finals. It was actually a really good match here. I actually never seen a really good Hunico match up until now. I thought him and Seth Rollins playing a really good match back and forth with a lot of great transitions, a lot of great counters, and just really a lot of great chain wrestling in that matchup. The crowd really wasn't into it the last 5 minutes of it because the match went into a 15-minute time limit, which went to overtime for 5 minutes, which Seth Rollins would win. So Rollins and Hunico, you wouldn't think it was a good way to kick off the DVD set, but actually was a really good way. I really enjoyed that. Talked about his match with Dean Ambrose, talked about how him and Dean Ambrose worked in independence around the same time, and got signed around the same time, but they never crossed paths until FCW. Of course, this was their first ever match, which this match is on the Shield set. And which, by the way, might I add, the curb stomp is not edited out on the set like on the Shield DVD. The curb stomp is not mentioned on commentary. They mute it when he hits it, but the move itself actually is still in the set. So no edits of the curb stomp on the set besides commentary being muted. Him and Dean Ambrose, like I said, was on the Shield DVD, so already seen that, already owned that, but it's still a really good match. Not their best match, but it was really good. Talked about him becoming the man in FCW pretty much, which led to his match with him and Leo Kruger for the FCW Championship. Great match. Honestly, probably the best match on Disc 1. Really enjoyed that one between both of them. I thought both of them went out there and had a killer match. A lot of great counters, a lot of great spots as well. The crowd was red hot into it. So him and Leo Kruger definitely tore the house down for an FCW match. I want to see an FCW DVD, by the way. I feel like the matches that delivered on here, considering the vault they had, you definitely can get a lot of great stuff out of FCW DVD. So I wish they'd go with that. Talked about NXT, how he was actually originally supposed to be in NXT Season 6. Supposed to be him, Leo Kruger, Big E, Bo Dallas, Damian Sandow, and Hunico. Those are supposed to be the 6 for NXT Season 6, but of course NXT transferred into FCW, so that never happened, thankfully, which led to him and Big E, of course, for the NXT Championship, where Seth Rollins loses championship. Story before that, he actually, convinced Triple H that he was the man and he should have been the #1 guy in NXT, and that's what they made him, because he was that damn good. Talked about the Shield, talked about how they pretty much just tore the house down, which is leading to their matches, of course, at the Elimination Chamber, which was a really good match. The WrestleMania debut would have meant to him. You wish he would have soaked in the moment more, but it happened so fast, he really didn't get the chance to sit there and soak in his WrestleMania debut. Talked about the Undertaker, how much of a pleasure it was to work with him in London, considering Undertaker at that point wasn't wrestling often, he was only doing WrestleMania, but the fact that he was able to work Raw and SmackDown with the Shield was a huge honor for them. Talked about Dusty Rhodes, how Dusty Rhodes, of course, was one of the guys that really stuck his neck out for Seth Rollins. Won, a lot of points in FCW. A lot of guys want to get rid of him. Just because of the way he was, he was cocky. He knew he was the best, and he let people know he knew he was the best, but that rubbed people the wrong way, and of course, Dusty was with him. Dusty knew he was the best in FCW at the time, so Dusty really helped him and supported him in that. Which led to the great match with him and Roman versus Goldust and Cody Rhodes. So this one was really good. Disc 2, arguably is the best disc. Fantastic set there with him talking about the Shield, breaking up, talking about how they fought it for a while because they wanted to break the Shield up back in December of 2013. They're going to split there, so that's why, in that time period, there's a lot of times where the Shield look like they're about to break up any moment because they're trying to break up the Shield, but the Shield would, somehow talk them out of it, and then eventually the day came where they couldn't get talked out of it, or talked them out of it, and it happened. Talked about his performance in the Royal Rumble match with John Cena and Brock Lesnar, how he wasn't supposed to be in the match, but the reason he was put in the match was because of the negative reaction that the Lesnar Cena rematch got when it was announced. So they figured putting him in there would generate the interest, and boy did it! It made the match absolutely amazing. So Seth Rollins definitely helped that match out. Talked about his match with Randy Orton at WrestleMania. Talked about how working with Randy was one of the easiest things he's done so far in WWE. He's just so good, and he definitely was an honor for him to be his first singles WrestleMania match. Talked about how he talked about his cash-in for months at WrestleMania, and when he figured out that they're going with Roman and Lesnar, he pretty much figured out how the match is going to be in terms of reaction-wise, and kind of popped the idea of cashing out WrestleMania, which obviously they went with and definitely worked for the absolute best. So it showed the clip of him, of course, cashing in at WrestleMania. Talked about him being the world champion, walking around the championship and having these great matches, especially with Dean Ambrose. The ladder match at Money in the Bank 2015, the ladder match with Dean Ambrose. I know it's a lot of mixed reactions, but that match is absolutely amazing. The storytelling of that match with, Rollins destroying Ambrose's knee and doing whatever he can. Just the brutal assault Seth Rollins would give Dean Ambrose. He hit 2 power bombs at barricade, powerbombed him onto a ladder with chairs, threw him in the crowd to try and run in the ring and outrun Ambrose, but Ambrose would just fight back. That match is so awesome. I love that match, honestly. I know it gets a lot of mixed reviews, like I said, but that match is absolutely amazing in my opinion. Talked about his summer run, and then he had the match with him and Neville, which is his WWE Championship Open Challenge, which was actually a really fun match there. Neville looked like $1 million. I don't know why Neville did not get pushed after that match. He actually nearly won the championship a handful of times in that match, which were really believable near falls as well. So, awesome match. Kinda amazed that Neville really didn't go anywhere after that. Unparalleled work ethic was pretty much him talking about John Cena, about how John Cena is just the man in the face nowadays, especially his work ethic, and one day Seth Rollins wants to be in John Cena's position, not just in the company, but like in terms of just all around name value. And of course has his match with John Cena for SummerSlam, which is Seth Rollins' best performance, in my opinion, he's ever had. I know his Rumble match, he looked like $1,000,000, but that match against John Cena, he was on a completely different level, in my opinion. So Disc 2, a lot of great stuff. Really enjoyed Disc 2. Amazing stuff. And of course, Disc 3, you could even argue is even better. I don't know if I'd say it's better, but definitely is damn close. Talked about his MSG debut with or not his debut, but his MSG match with John Cena. In the steel cage match, which is actually, it's listed as a WWE Championship match, but it's actually a US title match, so I don't know why it's listed as a WWE Championship, but whatever. Awesome steel cage match right there. Seth Rollins did that big frog splash at the top of the cage, which nearly shattered his knees. So that was, a really fun, enjoyable match. Talked about his, injury, about how it came pretty much at the wrong time and just couldn't, it didn't really sink in the severity of his injury and the fact that he's no longer a champion until like way after. Because, in the moment where he's getting set up for surgery, he wasn't sad or anything. He didn't cry. It was just, it hasn't really sunk in yet. So, you've heard the injury about 15,000 times for him, so I'm pretty sure it's nothing new here. It showed him getting Superstar of the Year, which was great. Talked about his comeback, of course, at Extreme Rules, and of course, his match with Roman Reigns at Money in the Bank, which, it's actually a great match. I remember watching the first time, really wasn't that much into it, but watching it back again, that was really good. And I still don't like the dynamic that clearly Roman Reigns wrestled at the heel and Seth Rollins wrestled at the face. But, it is what it is. And then, of course, talk about the Shield Explodes, which was, of course, them, Seth Rollins discussing about the Shield Triple Threat at Battleground, which he had no problem hiding his displeasure at the fact that it was at Battleground. He definitely said that it should have took place on a bigger stage, like WrestleMania, which they actually showed a dream match graphic for that match for WrestleMania, which I thought was pretty cool add-on right there for that. But, yeah, the timing of the triple threat definitely wasn't the best, especially with Reigns' suspension. The build was really lackluster. It definitely should have stayed that for SummerSlam or at WrestleMania. So, he had no problem discussing how displeased he was that it happened at Battleground. And it was a great match still. I didn't remember being that short, though. It was a really short match watching it back, but it's still great stuff. Talked about his match with Finn Balor. Of course, how Finn got injured in the match, and, he's still able to go out there and put on, 15 minutes after he got injured, just go out there and still put on a great match, which, watching it back, it is a great match. Him and Finn Balor put on a really good match, I thought. Initially, when the match first happened, it was kind of hard to pay attention considering everyone was just crapping the title. But watching it back, not really focusing on the title and acknowledging Finn Balor's injury, it was a really great match. Seth Rollins did God's Last Gift the first time on WWE TV, I think. And it was great. I really enjoyed him and Finn Balor. They tore the house down and had a really good match. Of course, Finn Balor winning. And then, of course, talked about him and Kevin Owens, how him and Kevin Owens have worked together for years, and that, he's told Kevin Owens straight to his face, you're not going to make it to WWE, bro, just because, not because you're not good, but you're just not what they look for. And every time, Seth Rollins would put Kevin Owens down, not to be a dick, but just, to be brutally honest with them, Kevin Owens would prove him wrong, and that was him and Kevin Owens in a no DQ match, the Universal title on Raw, which is a really fun match. Seth Rollins looked great, one of his best performances in 2016, in my opinion. Just really fun Universal title match, and definitely. I apologize for that, but definitely was a great way to kick off the end of the set. Him and Owens had a really fun match, and then of course the set ended with Seth Rollins talking about his future, talking about he was only 30 years old at the time of this DVD being filmed, and that he had a lot more in the tank still, and he's looking forward to the future to see what Seth Rollins does. So this set definitely is a must-have. Like I said, the match quality is unparalleled. The only match I would consider bad would be the Big E Seth Rollins match. But even that, it's not bad. It's a short match, but it's entertaining for what it is. So every match on here is good to great. No, not even good to great. Good to amazing. You have a handful of amazing matches. You have the triple threat from Royal Rumble 2015. Him and Ambrose in a ladder match was fantastic. The Shield triple threat. Him and Balor. Him and Cena, just a lot of great stuff. There's not one bad match, and just, like I said, the format of it, it's a really easy sit-through set. The set kind of just breezes by. It doesn't really feel like it drags on at any point. It's just a must-have, in my opinion. You can't go wrong with a great story. If I had to say, documentary-wise, in terms of adding up all the interviews, it's probably like 30 to 40 minutes long. Maybe a little less, actually, but I'd say it's probably around the run time you'd get in terms of interview time. But very candid, very open, doesn't really hold back on anything, and get some information that I personally didn't know. You may have known already, but there's some stuff I didn't know personally already. But yeah, great set. Highly recommend it. Like I said, go pick it up if you guys can. Next DVD set I'll be getting, of course, is the Owens Fight, the Kevin Owens story Blu-ray. So I'll be reviewing that as soon as it comes out. So I'm looking forward to that set coming out. And of course, with the Kurt Angle one in August after that. So we got some great sets coming up. So I'll be coming out with DVD reviews, of course, for those coming in the future. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of the year what WDVD/Blu-rays have to offer. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, leave a like below. As always, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys for watching the video.